Welcome to Mums at the Table. We also want to wish you a very happy Easter Sunday. How are you, Shona? How's your Easter going?
It's going pretty well, thank you. What about yours?
Yeah, very festive. Kids love Easter, but they love anything where you bring chocolate.
Chocolate!
Well, we're going to stay on our celebration theme. Oh, before we even get into that, I want to make sure you know what's coming up today. So we've got Amanda. She's in today talking dietitian, nutrition stuff. And we've also got our GP, Dr. Simone, here talking to Fiona as well.
And if you've got any questions that you want to ask these ladies, write in and let us know.
Yep.
We won't answer them.
No.
They will.
We won't do that to you. But we wanted to continue on with our theme of celebration today.
Right.
We're talking Easter. You cannot miss out on the topic of food when it comes to celebration. Cakes, though. Cakes, kids and celebration.
Oh.
Were you the mum who just made this amazing, crazy, Pinterest-worthy cake for your kids' birthdays?
Let's not go too far, but yes, I did the birthday cakes.
What was your best? What was your greatest achievement in cakes?
Well, I did a blue, for all those mums out there who have got kids my boy's age, I did a Blues Clues. If you don't know who Blues Clues is, Google it. It was a blue dog.
Oh,
so I made that for Joshua for one birthday, and I think probably for Aaron it was probably the letterbox off a children's program.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were you always going to make and create the cake, or did it ever sort of cross your mind to buy it?
No. Not until they got a bit older and they started wanting these convoluting cakes, and I just went, no, pavlova and strawberries now.
See, my kids ask for those cakes. I'm like, no, it is just not on Mummy's talent list. It is not my spiritual gift. But I have made the commitment that I wanted to make them a cake each time. And there are probably some that I should have bought for. Because you know how there's the Pinterest wins?
Yeah.
I'm clearly in the Pinterest fail category.
Oh,
so
no.
I made this, I always, make a square or round cake and then I decorate it. But I was going to do this flamingo. Flamingos were in. My second daughter wanted that. I was going through a healthy phase where I wanted the coconut sort of, and I was all sorts of things that weren't, your standard. Anyway, I made this flamingo. It sort of melted and looked like a deranged cat. And it was just, like, I took it out to the kids and they sort of stared at it. Not because it was ugly, but they just didn't know what it was. Like, it's just a pink cake, eat it.
So do you think it's important? Do you think at the end of the day, does it matter to the kids that you do this or not?
I actually don't know. I remember my mum making every cake, and that's probably what has influenced me. And I remember thinking they were absolutely magnificent. And now that I look back at the pictures, I'm like,
maybe
actually, I can match that. Sorry, Mum. Love you. But to me, it's important.
Yeah.
Like, I want to put that effort in. But that's just a value I have.
Yeah.
And I guess I hope one day that they appreciate it. I can never guarantee that they would. But yeah, I think that's the way I want to celebrate them. Yeah. What do you do? Let us know on Facebook. And if you're game, share some of your photos with us, your wins and your
the
fails.
losers.
I'll put mine up if you put yours up.
Hey, I'm sitting with Dr. Simone here to talk about fussy eaters, particularly children. We all, as parents, have gone through a stage, I guess, some of us, where our kid doesn't want to eat, the good food that we've provided. They, want to eat the white bread, the white
pasta, the white potatoes, the white rice.
Yeah, and sometimes they won't even drink water. It has to be coloured or whatever the situation might be. So how can we, as parents, ensure our kids are eating the right foods and monitor that they are getting the right nutrients and vitamins?
So look, for if you have a child who eats whatever you put in front of them happily and smiles and says, "Thank you, Mummy," good for you. For those of you who are normal, sorry, that sounds terrible. For the rest of us, your kids will go through times when they like one thing and then they go off of it. They previously loved green beans and now they won't have a bar of them. They love bananas and now can't put one within 50 metres of me. So that sort of stuff is normal. And I guess there's an element of, is this normal fussiness?
Okay.
Or is this starting to affect my child's development, their energy levels, their ability to keep up with their peers at preschool or at school or those sorts of things?
So what are we looking for when we know our child's fussy when it comes to eating, but when should it be a concern?
So if the teacher at preschool or school is saying your kid is always tired, they're not keeping up with their classmates. If your child is complaining about being tired, if there's not a lot of fibre going into the diet, then that can delicate,
Right.
affect the consistency and frequency of their bowel motion.
So should we be asking our children, have you
Well,
gone to the toilet?
Absolutely. Was it easy to go to the toilet?
Right.
Was it hard to go to the toilet?
Yes.
Some children can get constipated to the point of bleeding, which is obviously really distressing for both the kid and also the parent.
Right. And so I guess as a parent, we're looking for signs where they're tired or they're not being themselves, or they're not keeping up with their peers at school.
Kids should be running around full of energy, going until they stop. And if they're not doing that, then that's the time where it could be worthwhile having a chat to your doctor about, is this the time when a multivitamin could be required? Do you think your child could tolerate having a blood test, which sounds simple for an adult, but for a child can be quite a traumatic experience. And so you need to find that balance between, will trying a multivitamin and seeing if that helps their energy levels be enough, or do we need to go down that path as well?
And I guess even as parents in looking at our children and making sure they're eating the right things, with multivitamins and probiotics, when's a good time to give our children?
Probiotics I'm a big fan of probiotics across the board, and especially if you're noticing that your child's gut is struggling somewhat.
How do you know that?
Bowels.
Okay. Are they going regularly?
Are they going regularly?
How often is it? Every day, every second day?
Every day would be great. But if it's easy, then fine. But if it's not, then have a chat to your doctor and get things checked into.
So I'm hearing that it's okay to give our children probiotics. Can we give it to babies as well?
Even babies.
Excellent. Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Simone, for those tips. I hope that's helped you. Don't forget, keep it locked right here at Mums at the Table.
Hi guys, we are back with another segment here with Amanda. Hi Amanda.
Hi Gia.
And today we're going to be talking about the Health Star rating system, and if you don't know what that is, it's okay because Amanda is about to tell us what the Health Star system is.
Yeah, that's right. So the Health Star rating system rates different packaged foods based on how healthy they are. It looks at their nutritional profile and rates them somewhere between 1/2 star and 5 stars.
Okay, so 1/2 star to 5, wow.
Yeah, and as you would expect, the more stars, the healthier the product. That's
okay,
right.
that's good. Yeah. So where do we find this star rating?
Yeah, so it's located on the front of the package. It can be down the bottom or up the top. I think with all of these, it's
down the bottom.
Down the bottom.
Yeah, that one's down the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay,
yep.
Awesome.
So that's what it looks like.
And so how do they calculate it? So how do we know how it all works, and how do they calculate the system?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. So there is a calculator and it takes into account a number of factors. Firstly, it looks at the bad nutrients, which are total sugars, saturated fat, energy and sodium or salt content.
Okay.
And a product will lose points based on how much of these it contains.
Right.
It then looks at the good nutrients. So these are protein and fibre, as well as fruit, vegetable, legume and nut content as well. And the product will gain points based on how much of these it has.
Wow. So how can we use this as just as a mum?
Yeah.
Like, how would I be able to use that?
Yeah, so it's really a tool to help you quickly and easily compare products to help you make a healthier choice.
Okay.
So something you should be aware of is that it can only be used to compare the same type of products.
Right.
So we've got all breakfast cereals here.
So if we were to do muesli bars, you can't compare the two. You
With
can
the
only
breakfast cereal,
No, you'd have to only look at muesli bars
That's right.
say, okay, this one's the 5-star rating muesli bar.
That's
okay.
right. So with these breakfast cereals, we'd be looking for one that has a higher health star rating. Okay. So with this, it would be the oats or the kids' Weet Bix.
Okay.
At the 5 stars.
And so is there anything else we need to be aware of? Like, what else do we need to do?
Yes, yeah.
Do we just go 5-star, that's it?
Well, the other thing to think about is that not all foods have a health star rating that are healthy for us as well.
That's right,
so things like fruit and vegetables aren't packaged, so they don't have a health star rating, but they would be a 5 if they did.
Yes,
so we need to make sure we're also including those foods that aren't packaged as well in our diets too. The other thing is that negative nutrients are balanced out by positive nutrients when they do the calculation. So for example, if you're looking at muesli bars, if there's a muesli bar that's really high in sugar, it will lose points for that, but then it will, if it's high in fibre, it will then regain points for that. So I guess what I'm saying is just because a product has, say, a 4.5-star rating doesn't necessarily mean that, for example, it's low in sugar.
That's right.
And that's where it's really important to have a look at the nutritional information panel and just check for things like sugar content, saturated fats, and
which is
salts.
great,
Yeah.
because our next topic next time will be on the panel at the back and how to read that. So we're looking forward to hearing from you on that. Thank you so much. That was really informative. We'll see you guys next time, and we'll be talking about the panel on the back and how to read that. See you then.
Hey, thanks for joining Dr. Wood and I for a chat. We're talking about miscarriage, something that affects 1 in 3 women here in Australia.
It's not often talked about miscarriage.
No, it's
and
not.
I think it should be. People often will suffer a miscarriage and not tell anybody. And I think if you tell... People are often scared to even tell people that they're pregnant until they get past this magic 12-week stage.
Yeah.
Because they're worried about having a miscarriage, having to deal with it. But I actually reckon that if you tell your loved ones that you're pregnant early on, if you do have a miscarriage, you really want them to help and support you at that time.
I actually did find that helpful because I actually miscarried recently and I got to that 12-week mark.
Yep.
And I found it healing to be able to talk to other people about
and
the
you
fact
will
that I
find
miscarried.
probably that the people around you will also have experienced miscarriage in their life, you know. Even, like I've even had some really upset fathers, you know, and we often ignore them. We always worry about the mum. I've had some fathers who've been devastated, you know, and they've been able to share with their work colleagues, and they've all kind of rallied together, and I think it's a really good thing to support each other.
Have support and be open about it. I don't think there's a stigma around it. I think we've got to work towards, there's no shame, no blame.
And it just happens. And what causes a miscarriage? A vast majority of the causes are usually to do with something of the genetics not quite working. When the sperm and the egg join together, there's about 400 billion things that have to join exactly right, and sometimes it doesn't go quite well. What amazes me that it goes so well most of the time, when you think about it. It's a miracle every time. But when it doesn't go quite right, the pregnancy starts, and then when it needs to use that bit of genetics to get to the next part of the pregnancy, it realises it's not there and it stops. Some people might experience bleeding. Some people might just suddenly find out that their baby's not alive anymore at an ultrasound. Which is, and then,
to me.
And you know, either way, it's still really devastating. But find some people who love you, who can help support you. Miscarriages can be managed in different ways depending on what's happening. Sometimes it's really obvious that you need to have an operation because you're bleeding so much, and that needs to happen and happen quickly.
So we're talking about the options of what
how to treat it.
can do.
Sometimes you can just wait, and your body will eventually...
I did that. I let it naturally expel from my body.
It is a really good idea, but some
people
people can't manage that because they just can't wait. You know, some people are walking around knowing it's going to happen sometime. It could take up to a few weeks before it actually comes out.
It's good you say that because I think it's important we know there's no right or wrong way to dealing with this.
Everyone's got
options.
their own needs, right? There is some medical treatment you can take where you take a particular medication that can then help to bring it out. But either way, you should feel supported by your family and loved ones. You should talk about with your health practitioner and make sure you've got good support there. Very rarely does it actually need, you know, medical intervention immediately. So there's usually time to discuss options.
And look, thank you so much, Dr. Peter Wood, for sharing that. I know that it may affect some people, so please get the help you need or seek help.
And don't be afraid to talk about it.
Don't be afraid to talk about it. You know, there's a lot of people that are affected by miscarriage as well. So you're not alone. Don't forget you're not alone. So important. Keep it locked right here, Mums at the Table, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
She looks worried. I'm going to ask her one of those questions now. We were just talking about epic fails with your birthday cakes. What about we celebrate the epic fails as a mother? Have you... And look, if you go onto YouTube, you see all these epic fails, and you showed me one not so long ago that we just
hilarious.
kept up laughing about.
A famous mother had actually opened the car door into her daughter's face and captured, like a paparazzi had captured every moment. I couldn't stop laughing. But unfortunately, I could relate so much on the parenting fail. I don't know where to start. Surely you had some. Please back me up.
Look,
I can't be the only one.
I struggled to try and remember because I think I've blocked them all out now. But one I do remember in particular was the boys were playing up in the back of the car one day, and so I'd had enough. And I'm, you know, you see this on YouTube all the time, but I was the mother who pulled up on the side of the road, opened the back door, told the kid to get out of the car, slammed the back door, ran round to my side of the car and drove off. only to find out behind me was my sister-in-law.
Oh!
So not only did the discipline not work, I got a telling off for doing it.
I was going to say the judge, she probably picked him up,
Judgment
right?
was cruel. She did.
There are some I want to forget. Like, though, I still can't even sort of laugh at them. I accidentally left my daughter in the driveway and drove off without her, and I turned round. I think I've shared this before, and I'm like, where's Tessa? And the girls are like, she's still in the driveway. Slammed on the brakes, ran up there. And she was, so innocent, so beautiful. But the other day, I only did one the other day. I opened the cupboard door. It was a bit jerky, and my daughter's face was right here, and I just went bang in her face, right in her eye. And there's this bruise there. And then not to mention my disciplining fails. We were at, at an event the other day. My daughter was being naughty. I'd pulled her aside, and she throws her tantrums in such hilarity that I couldn't hold myself together. So I'm trying to discipline her, cracking up. Everyone around me is just shaking their head because, big parenting fail.
Yep.
But we all have them. And the best place to go is the internet because it makes you feel so much better.
Yeah, not everybody has a perfect life.
No, look, and that's part of the parcel.
Yeah.
That's part of the journey that you go through. I think it's worth recording some of these things
Yeah.
because it is fun to look back and laugh on the ones you can look back and laugh on.
It gives you a sense of relief that, there is some fun times in there. Yeah.
And look, there's so many we could talk about. I won't even mention the one where I accidentally locked my daughter in the house. That's for next time. But we will catch you next time here on Mums at the Table. Don't forget you can share your stories on our Mums at the Table Facebook private group page. We'll see you next time.
Bye.